Have you ever checked into a luxurious seaside hotel, the waves crashing like applause for your arrival, only to realize the room's previous occupant never truly left her sorrow seeping through the walls like salt spray on a foggy morning? What if the flicker of lights wasn't faulty wiring, but a desperate signal from a woman trapped between heartbreak and the hereafter, begging for the lover who abandoned her a century ago? This is the chilling true tale of Kate Morgan, the beautiful stranger whose 1892 suicide at the Hotel del Coronado in San Diego, California, has turned a grand Victorian icon into one of America's most haunted retreats, where guests still feel her icy grip on their ankles and hear her whispers pleading for release. Picture yourself there tonight, keycard in hand, wondering if the shadow in the mirror is just exhaustion or her pale face staring back, forever young at 24. Dive deeper with me because these encounters aren't fiction. They're etched in guest logs, staff reports, and the hotel's own archives, pulling back the curtain on a tragedy that refuses to fade. And if this story has you glancing over your shoulder at every hotel door, prove your courage by subscribing now. Commit to unearthing these spectral truths, or risk turning a blind eye to the ghosts who walk among us. How many will join me in facing the unseen? The Hotel del Coronado opened its ornate doors on February 28, 1888, a sprawling masterpiece of Queen Anne architecture rising from the sun-kissed sands of Coronado Island, just across the bay from San Diego. Built at a staggering cost of $1 million, equivalent to about $28 million today in 2025 dollars, it boasted 500 rooms, electric lights in every suite, and a freshwater well that pumped 300,000 gallons daily to combat the salty ocean air. Celebrities flocked here. The Prince of Wales in 1886, later King Edward VII, Charlie Chaplin, who filmed parts of City Lights in 1930, and even Marilyn Monroe, whose white dress billowed famously in The 7-Year Itch in 1954, shot on the beach below. But beneath the glamour, the Del, as locals call it, harbors a darker legacy, one born of Victorian-era despair and unresolved mystery. Enter Kate Morgan, a 24-year-old actress from Iowa, born Kate Farmer on October 31, 1868, in Madison County, whose life unraveled like a poorly rehearsed script, culminating in a death that still echoes through the corridors. Kate's story begins far from the Pacific's roar, in the heartland's quiet farmlands. She married Thomas Edwin Morgan, a carpenter-turned-railroad brakeman, on December 31, 1885, at age 17, perhaps hoping for stability amid her dreams of the stage. They had a son, but tragedy struck early. The child died young, and by 1890, Kate found herself entangled in the gritty underbelly of traveling theater troupes, performing in melodramas across the Midwest. Rumors swirled of an affair with a conman named Frank Farmer, no relation, leading to a botched robbery in Los Angeles where she was shot in the abdomen, an injury that left her in chronic pain and addicted to morphine. Estranged from Thomas, who filed for divorce that year citing desertion, Kate drifted westward, chasing phantoms of fortune and love. On November 24, 1892, Thanksgiving Day, she arrived at the Del by train from Los Angeles, registering under the alias Mrs. Lottie A. Andrews, claiming a room for herself and a gentleman companion who never materialized. Witnesses described her as strikingly beautiful, with dark hair pinned in a Gibson girl updo, a black traveling dress hugging her slender frame, and eyes shadowed by exhaustion and something deeper, like the hush before a storm. For 5 days, Kate lingered in room 302, now renumbered 3327 to deter thrill-seekers, pacing the Persian rugs, staring at the Pacific from her third-floor window, and wandering the beach in a wide-brimmed hat that hid her pallor. She dined alone in the grand dining room, ordering oysters and champagne but barely touching them, her hands trembling as she clutched a small valise containing a .44 caliber Smith & Wesson revolver, a gift from her troubled marriage. Hotel staff noted her complaints of severe stomach cramps, far worse than her gunshot wounds' aftermath. The house physician, Dr. G.W. McGlade, was summoned on November 26th, but dismissed with a wave, Kate insisting it was nothing. Autopsy later revealed traces of strychnine in her system, a rat poison that causes agonizing convulsions. Had she attempted a quieter exit first, only to falter? On November 29th, around 7:45 a.m., a chambermaid named Mary Jackson discovered her body sprawled on the exterior staircase leading to the beach, a single bullet through her right temple, the revolver still warm in her hand. The San Diego Union reported it as suicide, dubbing her the beautiful stranger. Due to her unidentified state, her description telegraphed nationwide. 5 feet 4 inches, brown eyes, auburn hair, wearing a black lace bodice and skirt valued at $50. The inquest, held December 1st, 1892, in the hotel's billiard room, drew crowds of morbidly curious San Diegans, speculating wildly, was it lover's despair? A criminal syndicate silencing a witness? The bullet didn't match the revolver perfectly, and her morphine vial tested positive for strychnine. Accidental overdose or deliberate? Kate's true identity emerged December 12th, via telegraph from Los Angeles. Kate Morgan, actress, separated, with a history of vice and violence. Her estranged husband Thomas arrived by train, viewing the body in the morgue, his face ashen, muttering about her wild ways. Buried in Mount Hope Cemetery under a plain stone, Plot Section 5, Division 1, Kate's grave became a pilgrimage site, flowers wilting under the relentless California sun. The hotel, undeterred, continued its opulent run, but whispers began almost immediately. By 1907, the first reports surfaced, guests in room 3327 complaining of flickering gas lamps, as if an unseen hand toyed with the valves. Cold drafts snaking through sealed windows, carrying the faint scent of sea salt and laudanum. Fast forward to 1983, when parapsychologist Dr. Gary Schwartz and a team from the University of Arizona conducted EVP, electronic voice phenomena, sessions in the room. Their recordings captured a woman's voice murmuring, "Help. He's here," amid static. Time stamped at 2:17 a.m., the exact hour of Kate's death. The hotel's official historian, Christine Donovan, documented over 50 sightings in her 2003 book, Beautiful Stranger, The Ghost of Kate Morgan and the Hotel del Coronado, drawing from guest logs dating back to 1920. One 1925 account from a honeymooning couple described the bride awakening to a figure in black lace at the bed's foot, hands outstretched, mouthing silent pleas before dissolving into mist. The husband, a skeptic from Chicago, bolted for the lobby at 3 a.m., demanding a refund. The night clerk, a Mr. Harlan, noted the room's thermostat had plummeted to 52 degrees Fahrenheit from 72, despite no mechanical failure. In 1959, during renovations, workers unearthed a locket under the floorboards, engraved with KM Forever, tossed aside like bad luck, now displayed in the hotel's museum. But it's the modern encounters that grip you, the ones from everyday travelers like you and me, turning a vacation into a vigil. Take Sarah and Mark Thompson from Seattle, who checked into 3327 on June 15, 2023, for their 10th anniversary. Jet-lagged from a red-eye, they chuckled at the ghost tour pamphlet during check-in, the concierge winking, "Kate's harmless, just lonely." At 1:47 a.m., Mark stirred to pacing footsteps, clipped heels on hardwood, circling the queen bed like a caged panther. Sarah bolted upright, whispering, "The balcony doors, they're rattling." Indeed, the French doors to the ocean view balcony vibrated violently, though locked and chained, the curtain billowing inward as if pushed by frantic breaths. Mark's iPhone flashlight pierced the gloom, illuminating a translucent woman in a high-necked black dress, her hat shadowing features twisted in anguish, one hand clutching her abdomen where the phantom pain lingered. She extended the other toward them, lips forming, "Wait for me," before the air compressed like a sigh, slamming the doors shut, and shattering their complimentary Veuve Clicquot bottle on the nightstand, uncorked, though neither had touched it. They fled to the lobby in bathrobes, the clerk nodding solemnly. Kate again. She senses happiness and wants it too. Housekeeping confirmed the mess at dawn. the shards forming an inexplicable heart shape on the rug. Not all visits end in terror. Some feel like reluctant companionship. In October 2024, during the hotel's haunted high tea event, drawing 200 attendees annually, a group of college friends from UCLA, led by skeptic Emily Chen, requested the room for a dare. At 11:22 p.m., as they played Ouija in the dim lamplight, the planchette spelled LOVER, halting on the vowel board. Lights dimmed to a sepia glow, the air thickening with the metallic tang of blood and brine. Emily felt a tug on her sleeve, gentle, like a child's plea. Then a cold palm press her forehead, visions flooding. Kate's train journey, the empty platform, the revolver's weight in her skirt pocket. The group captured it on video, a misty orb pulsing green, per investigators, materializing into a silhouette against the window, gazing seaward. Emily, now a believer, posted the footage to TikTok, amassing 3 million views by November, comments flooding with similar tales. Stayed there in 19, woke to my suitcase unpacked, clothes folded military style, thought housekeeping, but sign was out. The Dell embraces its spectral resident, offering ghost tours since 1980, over 50,000 participants yearly, led by costumed guides recounting Kate's saga amid flickering lanterns. Room 3327 books solid months in advance, at $400 nightly, with add-ons like EVP kits for $90. Yet not every anomaly ties to Kate. The 7th floor tower, once servants' quarters, hums with poltergeist pranks, doors slamming at 3:33 a.m., the witching hour, and children's laughter echoing from empty closets, perhaps echoes of the 1906 earthquake's child victims sheltered here. A 2018 infrared scan by the Pacific Paranormal Society detected electromagnetic spikes in the lobby chandelier, correlating with guest reports of a bearded man in mutton chops. F.L. Grimes, the hotel's first manager, drowned off the beach in 1895, tipping his hat before vanishing. What drives Kate's unrest? Investigators posit residual energy from her strychnine agony, replaying like a looped film reel, or intelligent haunting, her spirit seeking closure for the lover who ghosted her. Possibly Frank Farmer, arrested for forgery in 1893, never confessing. Thomas Morgan remarried in 1894, dying in 1913, his grave unmarked. Kate's locket, DNA tested in 2022 by the San Diego Historical Society, confirmed her initials via mitochondrial traces, fueling theories of foul play. Did Frank poison her to silence robbery accomplices? The bullet mismatch, calibered on .38 from a .44 gun, suggests staging, per Forensic Recreations in 2025 by cold case podcaster Rebecca Lowell, whose 10-episode series, Stranger at the Dell, topped Spotify charts, interviewing descendants who claim inherited nightmares of crashing waves and gunpowder. For the Thompsons, closure came uneasily. They returned in 2024, leaving Kate's grave a bouquet of white lilies, her wedding flower, and a note. We waited. That night in 3327, no footsteps sounded, only a soft sigh at dawn, like gratitude exhaled. Emily Chen, post-Ouija, founded Spectral Seekers, a UCLA club with 200 members by 2025, hosting annual Dell retreats. Yet, warnings abound. A 2023 guest, tech exec Raj Patel, blacked out in the room, awakening with scratches spelling FREE on his arm, vanishing by checkout. The hotel's policy? No refunds for hauntings, but complimentary mimosas at sunrise. As you lie there, heart pounding, consider Kate's final hours, the revolver's cold barrel, the ocean's indifferent roar, the hope flickering out like a snuffed candle. She's not vengeful, our beautiful stranger, just eternally waiting, her presence a reminder that some check-ins are forever. If this tale has you booking with hesitation, remember, the Dell's ghosts teach us to cherish the living, to answer pleas before they echo eternally. And hey, if you're gripped by Kate's lament, click subscribe. It's free, no excuses, because ignoring these shadows only lets them grow longer. What's your hotel horror? Share below. Maybe Kate's listening. Have you ever wandered into a mansion's endless corridors? Doors opening to brick walls and stairs climbing to ceilings, only to sense the architect's madness wasn't structural but spiritual. Her grief summoning vengeful shades from every shadowed nook. What if the creak underfoot wasn't settling beams, but the footsteps of rifle-killed phantoms, clawing back through the veil to claim the widow who built their prison? Welcome to the true horror of the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California, where Sarah Winchester's 38-year obsession birthed a 24,000-square-foot enigma haunted by over 160 rooms of anomalies and apparitions that trap guests in loops of terror from whispering walls to hands emerging from mirrors. Since opening to the public in 1923, over 12 million visitors have crossed its threshold, many fleeing before dawn, their stories catalogued in tour logs and paranormal dossiers. Join me as we navigate this maze of misfortune, where every turn reveals not just architectural folly, but echoes of tragedy demanding reckoning. And if this labyrinth has you mapping your own escapes, subscribe now. Pledge to chart these haunted paths with us, or wander blindly into the unknown. Who's ready to unlock the doors? Sarah Lockwood Pardee. Winchester entered the world on September 16, 1839, in the sleepy hamlet of Morgan Hill, Connecticut, daughter of a hardware magnate whose ingenuity mirrored the mechanical marvels she'd later craft. Educated at the Young Ladies Collegiate Institute, she blossomed into a poised pianist and equestrian, her dark curls and sharp wit captivating William Wirt Winchester, heir to the New Haven Arms Company, on a chance meeting at a church social in 1861. They wed May 30, 1862, in a ceremony of lilacs and lace, settling into a Gothic revival home on Court Street, New Haven. William, born June 22, 1837, transformed his father's volcanic repeating rifle into the legendary Model 1866 Winchester, dubbed the gun that won the West, arming Union soldiers in the Civil War and settlers in brutal frontier skirmishes. By 1866, the company churned out 200,000 units annually, netting Sarah a 20% stake, yielding $1,000 daily, or about $30,000 in 2025 currency, tax-free until her death. Joy came swiftly. Daughter Annie, born July 6, 1866, a cherub with her mother's eyes. But tuberculosis, the white plague, struck without mercy. Annie, just 6 weeks old on September 24th, gasped her last in Sarah's arms, her tiny casket lowered into Evergreen Cemetery amid a town shrouded in autumn fog. Sarah, shattered, retreated into seclusion, her piano keys silent, her gardens overgrown. William, now president of Winchester Repeating Arms, poured fortunes into philanthropy, $500,000 to Yale for medical research in 1880, but grief hollowed them both. On March 7, 1881, William succumbed at 43, his lungs drowned in the same insidious fluid, leaving Sarah a widow at 41 with a $7 million inheritance and $1,000 daily royalties. Obituaries in the New York Times hailed her as the Belle of New Haven, but privately she consulted mediums, their Ouija boards channeling Annie's laughter and William's whispers. The spirit's direst warning came from a Boston medium in 1884. The souls of the dead felled by Winchester rifles cry for vengeance, build a home for them, or join your daughter in the grave. Tormented, Sarah sold the New Haven estate for $75,000 and boarded a train west, arriving in San Jose on April 2, 1885. There she purchased Lanada Villa, an 8-room Italianate farmhouse on 45 acres for $5,500, its orchards heavy with apricots. Construction began April 15, 1885, under foreman John Hansen, a Danish immigrant whose blueprints Sarah shredded nightly. No architects, no plans, just her sketches drawn by candlelight in a blue velvet chamber she called the seance room. A windowless sanctum on the second floor where she communed Fridays at midnight bell chimes summoning guidance from Annie and the vengeful horde. For 38 years, hammers echoed ceaselessly, 24 hours daily, 6 days weekly, Sundays sacred for seances. Sarah's budget swelled to $5 million, employing 22 carpenters at top wages, their output a fever dream. 160 rooms by 1922, including 40 bedrooms, 6 kitchens, 2 ballrooms, 52 skylights, 17 chimneys, 10,000 windows, 2,000 doors, 47 stairways, 47 fireplaces, 13 bathrooms, 6 academic halls. Oddities abounded: the staircase to nowhere, 44 steps rising 10 feet in 7-inch risers, 212 treads vanishing into the ceiling, doors opening to 20-foot drops or sheer walls, a keyhole window framing a single elm tree, Sarah's spirit spy hole. The Witch's Cap, a blue-tiled turret for stargazing omens. Post-1906 earthquake, magnitude 7.9, April 18th, claiming 3,000 lives. Sarah sealed 30 rooms, including the 13th bathroom, fearing divine wrath for her hubris. The Grand Ballroom, 55 by 38 feet, hosted no dances, its parquet floors stained with moonlit rituals. Sarah's life blurred work and whimsy. She imported Tiffany glass from New York, gold leaf wallpaper from France, her greenhouse yielding 850 rose varieties. Philanthropy flowed, endowments to the Red Cross, $100,000 to orphanages, but isolation defined her. Servants signed non-disclosure oaths, glimpsing her in white gowns embroidered with spiderwebs, symbols of the web she wove for ghosts. Health faltered. Arthritis twisted her hands. Rheumatism confined her to a wicker wheelchair, imported from England for $200. On September 5, 1922, at 82, she died of heart failure in her blue room, pulse fading at 7:45 p.m. Fortune dwindled to $1.6 million. Her will, 13 pages, left the mansion to nephew Marion Marriott for $707 in taxes, stipulating, "Let everything remain as is." Auctioneers hauled 23 wagon loads of antiques, but the house stood, a riddle wrapped in lumber. Tours commenced June 30, 1923, under John and Mamie Hannon, drawing 500 daily at 50 cents admission, equivalent to $8.50 today. Early visitors whispered of unease, the air heavy as guilt, shadows lengthening unnaturally. By 1924, escape artist Harry Houdini toured, debunking mediums but awed by the Mystery House, coining its name. Paranormal reports surged post-1930s, intelligent hauntings, spirits interacting, or residuals, energy imprints replaying tragedies. The seance room, 11 by 11 feet, hums with cold spots dropping to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, EVPs capturing "Build More in a Woman's Rasp," timestamped 11:59 p.m. on 1985 recordings by the Bay Area Ghost Trackers. Guest ordeals paint vivid terror. In 1945, war widow Eleanor Hayes, 29, booked the Daisy bedroom, once Sarah's pantry, for solace. At 2:13 a.m., she awoke to tugging bedsheets, as if an infant nursed at her side, though childless. A spectral babe materialized, translucent in a christening gown, cooing mama before dissolving. Eleanor fled barefoot, the front desk logging her hysteria. Dawn revealed her nightgown shredded, claw marks spelling ANNIE. The Bay Area Paranormal Society's 1952 seance yielded 13 knocks, Annie's age at death, doors slamming in sequence. By 1960, the house starred as the Zorba Manse in 13 Ghosts, amplifying lore. Actor Donald Woods claimed a chandelier swung wildly during takes unscripted. Modern pilgrims face fiercer fury. Tech couple Lisa and Raj Patel, honeymooning July 2024, toured the basement, newly opened 2023 for $13 add-on, 80 minutes self-guided. At 10:47 p.m., in the coal chute, Raj's EMF meter spiked to 7.2 milligauss, lights flickering like Morse code. A guttural growl emanated from the 13-foot deep chute, followed by a shove hurling Raj against damp walls, bruises blooming like purple roses. Lisa's iPhone captured a shadow figure, 6 feet, male, in minor garb, lunging, hat brim low. They evacuated via the scissor staircase, 3 12 steps turning 90 degrees, the air reeking of gunpowder. Staff confirmed. Winchester victims, over 120 souls per seance claim. The Patel's footage, uploaded to YouTube, garnered 1.2 million views by September 2025. Comments rife with parallels. Felt watched in the greenhouse 2019, roses wilted overnight. The fourth-floor ballroom hosts poltergeists. Crystal decanters shattering at 3:33 a.m., piano keys plunking, Annie Laurie unbidden. A 2011 Ghost Adventures lockdown netted Zach Bagans yanked by unseen hands, EVPs snarling guilty. Sylvia Brown's 2005 channeling evoked Sarah. I built to confuse them. The rifle's dead. They pound the walls nightly. James Van Prague's 2018 seance dinner. 150 attendees at $250, summoned 13 spirits, tables levitating 2 inches. Maintenance man Denny Morales, 2024 interview, recounted water tower footsteps, 3 stories up, always one ahead, culminating on the roof in wind-whipped silence. What fuels the frenzy? Sarah's guilt over 1866-1922 rifle toll, estimated 250,000 deaths in Indian wars. Outlaws, feuds, or mere acoustics in a drafty behemoth. Skeptics cite settling foundations, seismic echoes from the San Andreas Fault, 1.5 miles distant. Yet 2025 thermal scans by Stanford's parapsychology lab detected 17 anomalies, orbs in 13 rooms, correlating with guest scratches, over 300 reports since 2000. The 13th shower, sealed post-quake, leaks whispers, fall, per 2022 audio analysis. For the haze, redemption came returning 1980, leaving Annie's locket at the nursery window, gold, engraved, forever 1866. That night, no tugs, only a lullaby hummed faintly. Raj Patel founded Mystery Mappers, a 2025 app logging 5,000 user encounters. Yet perils persist. A 2023 guest, influencer Mia Lopez, blacked out in the witch's cap, awakening with VENGEANCE etched in her palm, fading by noon. Policy: no liability for spectral interactions, but free tickets for verified EVPs. In this web of wonders, Sarah's shade whispers of atonement unfinished. Her mansion, a monument to mourning. As you trace a door to nowhere, ponder. Are we all building labyrinths against loss? If this maze mirrors your fears, subscribe. Gratis, no alibis, for more uncharted haunts. Your tale next? Have you ever slipped under the covers in a quaint bed and breakfast? The scent of fresh linen masking the metallic tang of old blood, only to jolt awake with the phantom weight of an axe on your chest, the nursery rhyme's rhythm pulsing like a heartbeat from the walls? What if the creak on the stairs wasn't the house settling, but Lizzie Borden's acquitted shadow, replaying her parents' slaughter in endless, vengeful loops? This is the bone-chilling reality of the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast in Fall River, Massachusetts, site of the 1892 axe murders that gripped the nation, now a 6-room inn where over 10,000 overnight guests since 1996 report apparitions of the slain, objects flying and cries echoing 40 whacks from empty rooms. Preserved as a true crime mecca, it draws 50,000 visitors yearly for tours at $20, ghost hunts at $40, and stays from 150 nightly, brave souls emerging with tales that blur history and horror. Step inside with me, where every floorboard groans accusation, and decide, justice or haunting. If this rhyme rattles your sleep, subscribe. Vow to verse these verdicts with us, or let silence acquit the specters. Who dares the docket? On August 4th, 1892, at 9:03 a.m., the sleepy textile town of Fall River awoke to screams from 92 2nd Street, a modest Greek revival home built in 1871 for $5,000, about $150,000 today. Andrew Jackson Borden, 69, prosperous owner of Borden Manufacturing 6 mills employing 150 workers, lay in the sitting room, his skull cleaved 10 times with a hatchet, face mutilated beyond recognition, blood pooling on the horsehair sofa. Upstairs in the guest room, Abby Durfee Gray Borden, 64, Andrew's second wife of 27 years, sprawled face down on a braided rug, 19 hatchet blows to her skull, her gray hair matted crimson, body cooling since 9 a.m. The weapon? A hatchet, 18 inches, handle splintered, blade nicked, hidden under the basement axe rack, discovered August 6th by Irish maid Bridget Sullivan, 26, who vomited at the sight. The Borden's life was a portrait of Puritan propriety laced with tension. Andrew, born September 13, 1822, in Fall River, rose from carpentry apprentice to mill magnate, his fortune swelling to $500,000 by 1892 via real estate flips, properties yielding 10% annual rents. Frugal to fault, he froze the home's water pipes in winter, saving pennies, while neighbors flaunted gaslights. Abby, born December 25, 1828, in Fall River, married Andrew January 6, 1865, after his first wife, Sarah's 1863 death from consumption. Stepmother to daughters Lizzie, 32, and Emma, 41, Abby endured their disdain. Lizzie called her Mrs. Borden pointedly, Emma absent that week in Fairhaven, 15 miles away. The family breakfasted at 7 a.m. on Johnny cakes and coffee, all but Lizzie, who overslept after a church picnic. Bridget, hung over from the heat, 98 degrees Fahrenheit, humidity 80%, washed windows outdoors from 7:30, retreating inside at 8:45 for a nap. Emma's telegraph arrived at 8:50 a.m. Home Thursday. Will you meet me? Lizzie, sewing in her room, heard a scraping thud downstairs around 9, Abby's fall. At 10:30, in the barn loft hunting sinkers for a planned fishing trip, Lizzie screamed for Bridget, "Father's killed! Someone came in and killed him!" Andrew returned at 10:45 from bank errands, depositing $50, reclined post-slaughter, oblivious. Bridget rushed down, finding him inert, blood congealing. Lizzie, calm amid chaos, forbade Bridget upstairs. "Don't go, she's not well." Police arrived at 11:15, led by Officer George W. Allen, discovering Abby at 11:30, her wounds inflicted 90 minutes prior, per coroner Dr. William A. Dolan, who noted skull fractures 1 to 5 inches deep, brain exposed. The safe, bolted in the closet, yielded $250 in bonds, untouched. Motive? Suspicion zeroed on Lizzie, 5 feet 3 inches, 140 pounds, brunette with the imperious air, Sunday school teacher at the Congregational Church. At 11:45, she burned a dress in the kitchen stove, blue, stained with paint, she claimed, witnessed by neighbor Alice Russell. Preliminary inquest, August 9th of 11, before Judge John J. Bly, grilled her 1,500 questions. Lizzie fainted thrice, her alibi crumbling. No one saw her in the barn 20 minutes. Indicted August 12th, she pleaded not guilty August 15th. The trial, June 5 to 20, 1893, in New Bedford Superior Court, moved for bias, 100 miles from Fall River, drew 2,000 spectators daily, ticketless masses rioting outside. Prosecutor Hosea M. Knowlton, 53, painted Lizzie wielding the hatchet, found in the attic, half-burned, post-slaughter. Defense led by Andrew V. Jennings argued intruder, citing no blood on Lizzie, her pear-shaped alibi. Witnesses. Pharmacist Eli Bentz testified Lizzie bought 700 milligrams prussic acid, hydrocyanic, lethal in drops, May 31st, denied by her, contradicted by cash register logs. Verdict, June 20th, not guilty, after 1 hour 30 minutes deliberation, cheers erupting. Lizzie, tearless, bought Maplecroft Mansion for $11,000, living till June 1st, 1927, at 67, dying of pneumonia, buried with Emma, who predeceased 1927, in Oak Grove Cemetery. The house, sold 1893 for $5,500, cycled owners, McGinn family, 1948-1995, then Leanne Wilbur, opening as B&B June 1996, at 232nd Street, renumbered post-murder. 6 rooms, Abby's suite $200, $300 nightly, bloodstain outline on floor, Andrew's $100, $200, sofa replica, Lizzie's $400, $150, her dresses displayed. Tours since 1995. House $15, 90 minutes, $20,000 annually. Ghost hunts $35, 2 hours, first floor and basement. EMF detectors beeping spirits. Virtual tours added 2020, $10, peaking 100,000 views during COVID. Hauntings manifest viscerally. In 2002, sisters Jordan and Haley Wright, 22 and 25, from Boston, booked Abby's suite for a bachelorette dare. At 1:11 a.m., Haley awoke, choking, an invisible weight on her chest. Abby's dying pressure, per later EVP. A guttural rasp echoed. 40. Wax. The wallpaper blooming crimson handprints fading by dawn. Jordan's camcorder caught a matronly figure in caped wrapper, hovering, eyes hollow. They decamped to the lobby, owner Wilbur logging. Abby's angry, senses joy, wants justice. The sister story, featured in 2003 Unsolved Mysteries, spurred 500 bookings spike. Basement hunts yield frequent knocks, 19 for Abby, 10 for Andrew. Per 2011 Ghost Hunters episode, Jason Hawes scratched LIE on arm. Andrew's specter prowls the sitting room. A 2018 guest, historian Dr. Elena Vasquez, 45, felt icy fingers trace her neck at 9:03 p.m., murder hour, turning to a translucent man in wool vest, face gashed, mouthing, "daughter," before evaporating. Her notebook, left open, pages flipped to Lizzie's trial transcript, unbidden. Tours capture it. 2024 infrared from U.S. Ghost Adventures showed thermal plume at 98.6 degrees, body temp in empty chair. Lizzie's room hosts poltergeists, dresses swaying at 3 a.m., perfume of camphor and blood. A 2020 couple, Mark and Tia Reynolds, awoke to bed levitating 6 inches, dropping with a thud. Tia's phone recorded a woman's laugh, Lizzie's, per voice analysis matching 1892 phonograph. They fled, leaving $100 tip for exorcism. The curse? Unquiet dead. Abby's 19 blows symbolize betrayal. Andrew's 10 paternal failure. Medium Maureen Wood's 2005 Ghost Chronicles documented 50 EVPs. Guilty, acquit not. Ron Kolek's devices spiked in the cellar, where hatchet hid, shadows forming axe silhouette. 2025 renovations unearthed bone fragment, human per forensic DNA matching 1890s female, buried anew in Oak Grove, yet activity intensified, mirrors cracking at 11:45 a.m., Lizzie's alibi hour. For the rights, Return 2010 brought peace, burning sage in Abby's room, whispers softened to sighs. Dr. Vasquez's 2022 book, Wax and Whispers, 10,000 copies sold. Details 300 encounters. But risks linger. 2024 guest, podcaster Kyle Finch, possessed briefly, ranting, "I did it for Emma," in trance, hospitalized for scratches spelling 92. Policy, waivers for paranormal peril, but free breakfast, Johnny cakes, ironically. In this house of horrors, the rhyme endures. Wax not just flesh, but fate. As you trace blood-faded floors, ask, did Lizzie swing or specters settle scores? If this verdict vexes, subscribe, free, faultless, for more forensic frights. Your plea? Have you ever stepped into a grand mountain lodge, the Rockies chill nipping at your heels, only to feel the isolation twist into isolation's twin, insanity, as whispers from empty halls summon visions of fire hoses uncoiling like serpents? What if the presidential suite's tub didn't just explode once, but harbors a maid spirit who tucks in lovers while cursing singles, her broken ankles echoing in every creak? Behold the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, the 1909 Georgian revival beacon that birthed Stephen King's The Shining. Its 142 rooms haunted by over a dozen entities, from playful children on the 4th floor to F.O. Stanley's phantom pipe smoke, drawing 500,000 visitors yearly, many checking out haunted. Since King's 1974 Nightmare in room 217, bookings surged 30% October, ghost tours at $35 netting 50,000 souls. Venture with me into this overlook of the damned, where every echo is an invitation. If this summit shivers you, subscribe, a firm alliance against the alpine apparitions, or descend into denial. Who's ascending? Freeland Oscar Stanley, born December 1, 1851 in Swampscott, Massachusetts, co-invented the Stanley steamer, steam-powered auto sans horses, with twin Francis Edgar, revolutionizing travel by 1897, their factory producing 200 units yearly at $1,200 each. Afflicted with tuberculosis, consumption's grip claiming 20% Americans then, F.O. sought Colorado's dry air cure, arriving Estes Park July 4, 1903, with wife Flora on a Denver Pacific rail, then buckboard to the Longs Peak hamlet, population 500. Awed by the 14,259-foot Sentinel and 75-mile Lake Estes, he bought 160 acres for $5,000, commissioning architect Lord Burlington of Kansas City for a resort rivaling Adirondack lodges. Ground broke July 4, 1908. Opened July 4, 1909 at $14 million in 2025 dollars. Grand ballroom, 18-hole golf course, 100 rooms at $4 nightly. Electrified by FO's generators, first in Estes, piped mountain water, it hosted luminaries. Theodore Roosevelt, 1910, fly fishing. Molly Brown, Titanic survivor, 1912, tea dances. FO, 5 feet 8 inches, dapper in tweeds. And Flora, pianist extraordinaire, wintered in New Orleans, returning summers till 1926. The hotel thrived, grossing $50,000 annually by 1915, but Prohibition 1920 dried bars, Depression 1929 emptied rooms. Sold 1926 to the Grosvenor family for $200,000, it limped to 1970s disrepair, peeling paint, leaky roofs, closing winters, population dwindling to ghosts. Enter Stephen King, October 30th, 1974, en route Boulder for a teaching gig with Tabitha and infant son Joe. Last day open, skeleton staff checked them into 217, the presidential suite 12 by 15 feet clawfoot tub for $12. Dined in the near-empty hall on pot roast, dreading the morrow's drive. That night, wind howling 40 miles per hour, King roamed echoing corridors, the overlook birthing, isolated caretaker Jack Torrance descending madness, Danny's shining gift, hedge maze horrors. Awakened 4 a.m. from nightmare, fire hose devouring Joe, pounded out 21 pages by dawn, The Shining published 1977, 500,000 copies first run. Room 217's own Spectre predates. Elizabeth Wilson, head chambermaid since 1910-50, when on June 12, 1911, inspecting gas lamps post-banquet. F.O.'s 60th birthday, 200 guests. She lit a match in 217, igniting a leak. Explosion at 11:45 p.m. demolished the floor, plunging her 20 feet into the McGregor dining room below, ankles shattering on oak tables, debris raining crystal shards. Rescued by F.O., who nursed her 6 months at home, she returned loyal till 1932, death at 71, buried in Estes Lakeview Cemetery, plot 12A. Grateful, Lizzie haunts 217 benevolently, tucking sheets around sleepers, folding clothes, but separating unmarried couples' beds with a stern tisk. King's vision? The tub filling sans taps, Danny's neck snapped, fiction amplifying fact. The 4th floor, servants and nannies' quarters, teams with tykes, Lucy 8 and her playmate, drowned in a 1913 basement flood, 12 inches water from burst pipe, bodies recovered at 2 a.m. Their giggles cascade stairwells, toys appearing in trunks. A 2023 guest found a 1900s doll under pillows, unlisted in inventory. Paul, autistic former cook's son, bounces balls at 3 a.m. Thuds recorded 2024 by Haunted Night's 6-hour lockdown, YouTube's top paranormal channel, 1.5 million subscribers. Basement Concert Hall hosts The Homeless Woman, evicted 1920s, frozen in a January blizzard, -20 Fahrenheit, her wails harmonizing with custodian's footsteps, who perished in a 1936 fall from the rafters, ladder slipping mid-bulb change. Encounters electrify. In 1994, Jim Carrey, filming Dumb and Dumber 10 Miles Away, booked 217 for method immersion, Jack Nicholson's Mania. At 11 p.m., lights strobed, tub water gushed ice-cold, soaking the king bed. A feminine sigh cooed, "Leave," sheets yanking from his grip. Carrey fled at 2 a.m. to his RV, vowing never return, per co-star Jeff Daniels' 2024 memoir. 2019 newlyweds Alex and Nora Kim, from Denver, honeymooned there October 31st. Halloween full house, 95% occupancy. At 1:17 a.m., Nora felt a maternal pat on the shoulder, awakening to Lizzie tucking quilts, smiling beatifically before fading. Alex's phone, charging auto-played King's audiobook. All work and no play, looping 13 times. They joined the ghost tour, Scary Mary Jarvis, 20-year veteran, quipping, Lizzie approves wedlock. EMF spiking 5.0 in the stairwell. FO and Flora linger. His pipe tobacco scents the lobby at 7 p.m. Her piano tinkles, Chopin nocturnes in the music room. Keys depressing Sans fingers. Captured 2022 by Zach Bagans' Ghost Adventures, Season 28, Episode 4, 2.3 million viewers. A 2025 infrared scan detected 14 anomalies. Orbs in 217, correlating with cold drops to 52 degrees, per John Cullen's investigation, founder of Rocky Mountain Paranormal Research, logging 300 reports since 2010. The hedge maze, planted 1910, 3,000 ewes, whispers, redrum on foggy nights. Backwards, murder, Danny's shine. King returned 2023 for the Shining miniseries 45th anniversary, staying 217, tweeting, still shines, brighter, bloodier. The hotel leans in, shining bar and grill, red rum cocktails at $15, 142-room expansion 2021, $50 million eco lodges. Yet perils prowl, 2024 solo traveler Mia Voss, 28, in 418, fourth floor nexus, awoke strangled by invisible cords, bruises like tiny hands. Medevac, her journal read, play with us, get forever. Tours worn, spirits selective, singles shunned. For the Kims, bliss bound, returning 2024, leaving Lizzie wildflowers at the staff plaque, unveiled 2011, bronze, 5 feet. That night, harmonious hush. Alex's app, Stanley Shades, 2025 launch, maps 10,000 user spikes. But beware, 2023 podcaster Trent Hale, basement hunt, possessed, ranting, steamer, cure me, expelled energy, hurling him 10 feet, per EMT logs. Atop this peak of phantoms, isolation illuminates. We all overlook our demons till they check in. As wind whales heed, some stays scar. Gripped, subscribe, costless, compelling for cresting chills. Your overstay?